Excellent. Welcome to the webinar. This webinar is on PTE Reading Multiple Choice. We're going to look at both single answer and multiple answers. They're pretty much the same thing. So the method that I'm going to teach you tonight will apply to both of those reading tasks in the PTE. Right, so what does it look like? Well, as I said, there are two. There's multiple choice, choose single answer, where you choose one, and there's multiple choice, choose multiple answers. So let's look at single answer first. This is what multiple choice, choose single answer looks like. You get some instructions. You get a question prompt. It's very important that you learn the terminology here because I'm going to be using this language throughout the presentation. So this is the question prompt, okay? It sits just above the answer options. They are the answer options. And of course you have text. So let's just quickly look at it again. You have a question prompt. Very important to understand what these are and their function. Answer options and a text, okay? You also get a timer. There's a little timer up there. And you get a button to click next when you have successfully answered the question. Multiple choice, choose multiple answers. It looks very similar, okay? It looks very similar, except in this one, there are a few differences. You can see, whoops, you can see that they are little squares and you can tick more than one. So that's multiple answer. You need to be careful. You need to be careful in the PTE. I nearly made a terrible mistake when I did my PTE of not distinguishing between the single answer and the multiple answers, because you're doing single answer and then all of a sudden it becomes multiple answers, and if you only choose one, well, that could ruin your reading score. So here they are side by side, single answer and multiple answers. Let's look at some distinguishing features. In this one, you choose one response. In this one, you select more than one response. In this one, you'll notice that they are circles. In this one, you'll notice that they are squares with ticks, okay, or check marks. So that's how you tell the difference between the two, and that's important. Right, what do you have to do? Well, for single answer, you choose one. For multiple answers, you choose more than one. Sorry, one or more. Sorry, let me do this again. For single answer, you choose one. For multiple answers, you choose one or more than one. We'll get to the scoring in a second. How much time do you get? Well, they are not individually timed. The PTE reading section is a single timed section of 32 to 41 minutes. Within that time of 32 to 41 minutes, you have many different reading tasks. So how much time should you allocate to the multiple choice single and multiple answers? Well, you should do it as quickly as possible, but you should do it as quickly as possible as long as it's accurate, okay? Yes. If you divide the number of tasks by the time, probably about 2 minutes on each task, but don't quote me on that. Right. I should just stop here. We have a lot of people in this webinar tonight. I'm talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people. So if you have a question and I don't get to it, I'm very sorry. You will be able to send an email at the end. I'll give you the email address. But I do want to push through. If we get stuck on too many questions, I will probably answer your questions anyway during the presentation. So just rest assured, kick back, put your feet up and relax. Here we go. How many questions do you get? Single answer, you get 2 or 3. Multiple answers, you get 2 or 3 as well. Okay, so 4 or 6 in total, 4, 5 or 6 in total. Let's do one. Here's what it looks like. Okay, here's what it looks like. Where's my spotlight thing? Where's annotate? Let me get my spotlight. Cool, all right. Let me move this thing down here. All right, so here we have the text, here we have the instructions, here we have the prompt, and here we have the answer options. I'm going to give you 1 minute just to have a look at this thing. We're going to look at this one later, but just have a look at it. I'll give you 1 minute. Starting from 3, 2, 1, now. While you're doing that, I'm going to eat some avocado. I haven't had dinner. All right, let's push on. I'm sorry, we're going to look at this one in detail in a second, okay? I get very bored. Let's move on. Scoring. Single answer, if you get it correct, you get 1 point. No negative scoring in single answer. Multiple answers, if you get it correct, you get 1 point. However, if you get it incorrect, you lose a point. Keep in mind that 0 is the minimum score. You cannot get -1, -2, -3. But this has some implications, okay? This has implications for your score, especially if you need to guess. What are those implications? Well, for multiple choice, choose single answer. If you don't know the answer, you should guess. Why? Because there's no penalty. You don't lose points. Multiple choice, choose multiple answers. Here's a little thing that you should learn. If you don't know any, if you really don't understand any, okay, you can't even get one, guess one. Guess the one that you think might be the answer, okay? If you know one, if you're sure about one, then choose just one. Don't guess another, because if you guess one, sorry, if you choose one that you know, okay, that's 1 point. But then if you guess one that you're unsure of, you'll lose a point. So it's better to get 1 point than 0, okay? So if you don't know any, just guess. You might be lucky. You can't go past less than 0. If you know 1, just choose 1. Don't guess another. If you know 2, choose 2. Don't guess another. If you know 3, choose 3. Don't guess another. Okay, that's clear. What I should also mention is that with multiple choice, choose multiple answers. There may just be 2 answers, okay? It doesn't mean that there will be 3 or 4. It might be 2, 3. Very rarely it will be 4. Usually it will be 2 or 3, okay? So if you select 2 of them, you need to just think, okay, well, that's it. That's it. The other ones are not, okay? Cool. Possible topics include academic subjects, scary academic subjects like history or economics or psychology or biology or linguistics or philosophy or agriculture or space sciences or communication studies or medicine or computer science, etc. Okay, so if you don't want to be like this guy, this is the guy at the PTE who did not prepare, and this is what the computer looks at because he thinks, oh my God, I didn't prepare. If you don't want to be like him, then you need to learn the method. Okay, here is the method. The method is coming up. Step 1, multiple choice. We're just going to first look at choose single answer, and we're going later we'll look at multiple answers. This is multiple choice, choose single answer. Step 1 of the method. Speed read the text. Okay, this is the first thing you should do. Speed read the text. You need to understand what the text is about. You need to understand what it's about. You need to get a general idea, not in detail, just a general idea. Okay, so here's the text here. This time I will give you 30 seconds to speed read this text here. Okay, then I'm going to ask you a question. So 30 seconds starts now. It's 10 seconds. I'll eat a little bit more avocado. 20 seconds. Okay, that's 30 seconds. So here's a little question. What is the text about? What is this about? You should be able to speed read the text and get a general idea of what it's about. Is it about A? It is about death in war. Is the text about Britain's music? Is the text about the British War? or is the text about war heroes? Okay, so put into your Q&A whether you think it's A, B, C, or D. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, okay. I'm just going to point out the people who get it right. So, okay, when it stops moving. Okay, let's have a look at who got it right. What is this about? Is it about death in war? Is it about Britain's music? It is about British war. Is it about war heroes? This is the first step, and you need to get this right, okay? Let's have a look at who got it right. Okay, please stop typing into the Q&A. Please stop. So Archit got it right. Yunfi got it right. Suryaj got it right. Ranjan got it right. Ere got it right. Who else got it right? Who else? Argel got it right. Tintu got it right. Fantastic. Well done. Jackson got it right. Deji got it right. Cool. You may be familiar with this one, by the way. It's from ptepractice.com. I pulled it off there because I was running so late of time. The answer is, it's about Britain's music. It's about Britain's music. This in many ways, this is a person, not a country, because look at the spelling. It's kind of tricky. In many ways, Britain's most ambitious effort is the War Requiem of 1961. Well, what's that? Is that a book? Is it a song? You don't know. A flawed but still impressive work for chorus, soloists, and orchestra. Where do you find a chorus, a solo, and an orchestra? Well, it's talking about music. Okay, it's talking about Britain's music. We can tell from this first sentence that this is about Britain's music or Britain's orchestra. Okay, cool. Yes, I don't know what that slide is saying. Cool. Step two. So step one was you need to understand the text. What's the text about? Is it about psychology? Is it about American foreign policy? Is it about linguistics? Blah, blah, blah. Step two, slowly read the question prompt. And I say slowly because you need to read this very carefully. You need to read the question prompt very carefully. The text, you can speed read, but the question prompt, you need to understand what they are asking for. You must understand what to look for. Okay, here's the question prompt here. It says, which of the following most accurately summarizes the opinion of the author in the text? Here's a little question for you. Which of these words, which is the most important keyword in this question prompt? Which is the most important key? Which is the pivotal, the most important one? Please write it into the Q&A. Okay, good. Yes, a lot of people are getting it right. Well done. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Good, excellent. Good. I'm going to read it again because a lot of people aren't getting it right. Which of the following, here is the following, these are the following, the answer options. Which of the following most accurately summarizes the opinion of the author in the text? Okay, the answer is the opinion. The answer is the opinion, okay? Here it is here. This is the key word. Opinion is the key word, okay? So let's go back because I've sort of forgotten what the step was. Whoopsie. All right. So step two was slowly read the question prompt. Yes, yes, yes. You must understand what to look for. So here's the question prompt. What's the most important keyword in this question prompt? The most important keyword is opinion. So that's what you'll be looking for in the text. You'll be looking for an opinion. You're not looking for a summary. You're not looking for an author. You're not looking for a text. You're looking for an opinion. Which of the following most accurately summarizes the opinion of the author? Okay. Here are some other types of prompts that you might see. You might see one that asks you to identify the topic, theme, or main idea. You might see one that asks you to identify the relationships between sentences and paragraphs, or evaluate the quality and usefulness of texts. This is taken straight from PTE, so it's a bit funny language. It might ask you, the question prompt might ask you to identify a writer's purpose, style, tone, or attitude. This is the one we just looked at, the writer's opinion. So identify a writer's attitude or opinion. The question prompt might ask you to identify supporting points or examples. Read for overall organization and connections between pieces of information, blah, 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 blah. Read for information to infer meanings, blah, 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 blah. These are the types of prompts that you might see, okay? So the one that we saw was asking you to find an opinion. Cool, so we sped read the text, and then we slowly read the question prompt, okay? We quickly sped read the text to find out what it's about. Then we really paid careful attention to the question prompt, okay? Step 3, understand the answer options. You must understand the connection between the question prompt and the answer options, which are below it, okay? So let's look at this one here. Let me draw something around here. Okay, so this is the question prompt, which we just looked at before, okay? And it says, which of the following most accurately summarizes the opinion of the author in the text? Now, if we can't connect these two, then we're really in trouble. So he finds the weaving together of the Latin mass and anti-war poems to be quite effective. So this is an opinion. Remember, we're looking for the opinion. He's critical of Britain's inconsistencies as observed in the War Requiem. So that's the other opinion. He admires the War Requiem of Britain, but finds it far from perfect. That's another opinion. He questions whether Britain's work will endure. That's another opinion, okay? So the answer is one of these, and it's connected to here. Obviously, we don't know. We must read the text, but we should be able to connect in our brain the meaning of this question with these possible answers. That's the third step. Connecting the question prompt to the answer options, okay? Let me clear my drawing here. Let's do a little exercise, okay? And we're going to connect the question prompt to the answer options, okay? So the question says, what's the opinion of the author in each of the answer options? Whoops. So what's the opinion of the author in this answer option? He finds the weaving together of the Latin mass and anti-war poems to be quite effective. Please type in your Q&A. What is the author's opinion in this one here in A? Okay. What is the author's opinion? What's the author's opinion in that first answer option here? Venkat says he's impressed. Yes, somebody said yes, effective, quite effective, and it's positive, good. Okay, find the particular word that is going to express an opinion or the way he feels about something. Okay. What words show an opinion here? What words show an opinion? Yeah, good. Okay, good, good, good. That's a better way to do it. Yes. Okay. Yes, many people are getting it. Some people aren't. Let me rephrase the question. Okay, so we want to connect this question prompt with the answer options, and we're looking particularly at an opinion. So we're trying to find in here what the opinion of the author is. It says, he finds the weaving together of the Latin mass and anti-war poems to be quite effective. The key words here are quite effective. That's his opinion. He feels or thinks that they're quite effective, okay? We'll look at the text in a second, but first we're connecting these two together. Let's look at the next one. He is critical of Britain's inconsistencies as observed in the War Requiem. So what words in B express the opinion of the author? Please type it into the Q&A. Good, well done, Alungo. Gaurav's got it, well done. Sham's got it, well done. Tapan's got it, Yashpal's got it, good. Jackson's got it. Everybody's got it. That's good. B's easier to find the opinion. Well done. Okay, so the answer here is, let me get out my highlighter. I like drawing on the screen. So he is critical. He's critical. That's his opinion. He's critical of Britain, and he's critical of Britain's inconsistencies. Okay, so probably the key word here is he's critical. So let's go back. I want to highlight the one before it. Actually, whoopsie. Undo my drawings. Turn on my spotlight. Go back a slide. Okay, I want to stick with this one. It's important. So the opinion of A is that he finds it quite effective. That's his opinion in A. Okay. Let's have a look at B. In B, the opinion is that he's critical. Okay, so they're very different opinions, and you're starting to see what we're trying to find later in the fourth step. When we look at the text, we're trying to match whether he thinks the author is the musician rather is effective or critical or something like that. Let's look at the next one. Okay, the next one says he admires the war requiem of Britain, but finds it far from perfect. So what's his opinion in this one? Fantastic. Yes, you guys are starting to get it. It's good to see. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Yes, good. Okay, I won't stay too long in this one. The answer is, or the important keyword is, let me move this thing. Okay. Let me get out my highlighter. Okay, the important word here is admires. He admires. That's his opinion. Admiration. He admires the war requiem of Britain, but finds it far from perfect. Okay? Let's do the final one. Let's find out what the last one is. He questions whether Britain's work will endure. So he questions whether Britain's work will endure. We may need to use a different word for this opinion here. But the important word is questions, definitely. He questions it. So he's unsure. He's unsure. That might be his opinion. Or undecided, or yeah, something along the lines of that. Okay. Okay. Let me clear all my drawings here. Cool. And let me got my spotlight. No problem. Okay. Let's go back. I want to stay with this one because it's so important to get. Step 3, understand the answer options. Okay, understand the answer options. If you don't understand the answer options, how can you connect them to the text? Okay, so don't spend all your time just reading the text, because the answer options are just as, if not more, critical. Okay, the question prompt is critical, the answer options are critical, and the text is critical. That the answer options are really important, and you need to understand the connection between here, the question prompt, and the answer options. So we went through and we found out that the opinion of the author in A is that he's impressed, he thinks it's quite effective. In B, he's critical of it. In C, he admires it, but he thinks it's not very good. In D, he questions it, he's a bit unsure. Okay, so we can see 4 different opinions there. That leads us to step 4, and this is critical. You need to go back and forth from the answer options to the text, and you need to start eliminating impossible answers. You need to start saying, that can't be right, that can't be right, that can't be right, that one is the only one left, and that is right. Okay, this is the safest way to answer these questions. And so we need to look for keywords. We need to look for keywords. So this is kind of what it looks like. This is the 4th step. First step is you read the text very quickly. Second step is you read the question prompt very slowly to understand what you must look for. Third step is you need to understand the answer options. Then you start going back and forth, okay? Up and down, back and forth from here. And what you want to do is start eliminating them, okay? Let's, I've forgotten what this slide's going to do, okay. I've totally forgotten what this slide's going to do. Hold on one second. I just need to click through. I thought that there was this. I must have deleted a slide. All right. Let me do the first one as an example, and then we can do the last three together. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this. Then I'm going to find the keywords in here, and I'm going to read back and forth to see if it's true, if it's correct. So in this one, his opinion was that he finds the Latin Mass, which must be a song, and the anti-war poems to be quite effective. Okay, so let's read the first sentence. It says, let's find, first of all, Latin Mass. Let's find Latin Mass. Here it is here, Latin Mass. Okay, in many ways, Britain's most ambitious effort is the War Requiem of 1961, a flawed but still impressive work for chorus, soloists, and orchestra. Okay, that's fine, but he's not talking about the Latin Mass yet. He's talking about the War Requiem. It weaves together the traditional Latin Mass for the dead with anti-war poems by Wilfred Owen, a young officer killed in World War I. Well, there's nothing said there about effectiveness, okay? It just says it weaves together the traditional Latin Mass for the dead with anti-war poems. It does not say it effectively weaves together, okay? So this one here directly comes from this passage here, this sentence here. However, it just doesn't say it. Therefore, we can eliminate it. Okay, I don't know what this one's doing here. Okay, I'm just talking you through it. In the second answer option, it says he is critical of Britain's inconsistencies as observed in the War Requiem. Okay, so let's see what this means. He is critical of Britain's inconsistencies as observed in the War Requiem. So here we can see the keywords War Requiem. We know where to read. And here it says he is critical of inconsistencies. In many ways, Britain's most ambitious doesn't mean inconsistent, effort is the War Requiem of 1961, a flawed but still impressive work for chorus, soloist, and orchestra. Flawed, inconsistent, yes, they're quite similar. That's a possibility. Okay, that's a possibility. We've eliminated A. A is impossible, but B is a possibility. Let's now go to C. He admires the War Requiem of Britain, but finds it far from perfect. Okay, let's read here. In many ways, Britain's most ambitious effort, okay, ambitious means he admires it, there's something there, is the War Requiem of 1961. A flawed, okay, it's far from perfect, a flawed but still impressive. Okay, so he admires it, he thinks it's flawed, he thinks it has problems, but it's still impressive. So this one is definitely possible. So we now have two possibilities and one impossible answer option. Let's look at the fourth one. He questions whether Britain's work will endure. Okay, he questions whether it will endure. Okay, let's read this last sentence. It says, for all its problems, the War Requiem will probably survive. So he's not questioning whether it will endure. He's saying it will endure. Okay, so that one's impossible. So now we're left with two possible answer options, B and C. Okay, I want you to answer it now. Okay, I want you to try and find the correct answer from B or C by reading these two important passages. Okay, please, I'll give you a minute, or I'll give you 30 seconds. Please type in B or C. Okay, a lot of people have got it immediately. Sham's got it, well done. Brenda's got it. Cool, Radha Krishna's got it. Jeremy's got it. Ganesh has got it. Deepak's got it. Yunfi's got it. An anonymous viewer has even got it. Abhishek's got it. Ethel's got it. Okay, fantastic. Cool, well done, well done, well done. Let's just leave it for a few more seconds so other people can get it as well. Very impressive. Well done, well done, well done. Cool. The answer is he admires the war requiem of Britain but finds it far from perfect. We can see this in two very important sentences. The first sentence says, in many ways, Britain's most ambitious effort is the war requiem of 1961. It's flawed, but it's still impressive. He admires it, but it's far from perfect. And again, there's a sentence here that also reflects this statement here. Therefore, it must be this one. This one is close. B is close, but it's not right on the money. It needs to be really right. That's why it says in the question prompt, if you remember, which of the following most accurately summarizes? That's C. Right, so we've learned the steps. Let's go through them again, and let's do another question, and I'll leave it more for you to do rather than me, okay? Step 1, speed read the text. You need to understand what the text is about. Please speed read this text. I'll give you 30 seconds. Try and ask yourself, what is this text about? What is it about? There are big, scary words in there, but what's it about? Okay, type into the type into the Q&A what it's about. Maksud says learning methods. Don't guess the answer yet. Let's wait. Let's go through the steps. Merimal says it's about teaching methods, methodologies of learning, teaching methods, learning and teaching methods, effective methods of learning, learning methods, somebody says. Okay, what's it about? Methodology of learning, learning methods. Good, learning and teaching, fantastic. That's close enough. Well done. You've got an idea of what that text is about. It's very important in the PTE not to freak out, not to get scared. When you're anxious, and it's very normal to be anxious in the PTE or any test, even for me, I was quite anxious going into this because I had a lot on the line. Being an English teacher, I needed to get perfect scores, so it made me quite anxious. My brain wanted to go very fast and did not want to focus. And especially because I'm looking at a computer screen, it's very hard to concentrate on the screen. You need to relax. And you need to, yes, there's a timer and the timer's ticking down, but you need to disregard that timer and you need to concentrate on the text, understand it, and move on. Of course, doing it quickly. Step 2, slowly read the question prompt. You must understand what to look for. Please read this. And type into the Q&A what the most important word is. Jackson's got it. Sunil's got it, Viren's got it, Archit's got it, Hetal's got it, Nandini's got it, Yashpal's got it, Khalif's got it. Everybody's got it. Cool. Yes. The most important word here is point. What point is the writer making in this passage? So in the previous one, opinion was the important keyword. Here, the important keyword is point. Okay, so that was step 2. We understood what we need to look for. Step 3, understand the answer options. You must understand the connection between the question prompt and the answer options. So let's read through these 4 answer options, please. Okay. Let me read them. Motivation is worth more than intelligence in learning. Language can be effectively learnt through play. There is no single best method for learning. Teachers should regularly change their methods. Okay. I'm just sorry. I just need to check something for 1 second. Just let me check something for 1 second. All right, cool. All right. Okay, let me screen share again. Sorry about that. I just needed to check the slide that was coming up next. Okay, and I'm back. All right, step four. Let me turn on my spotlight again. Step 4, okay. Step 1, scan read the text. Step 2, slowly read the question prompt. Step 3, read those answer options and understand them. Step 4, go back and forth from the answer options to the text and eliminate impossible answers, looking for keywords. So let's start here. Let's see if we can eliminate this one here, okay? So we're looking here, we read A, motivation is worth more than intelligence in learning. The key word is motivation, so we need to look here in the text. Please write yes, no, if this part of the paragraph reflects this statement here. Write yes or no. Cool, Lengo's got it, Jeremy's got it. Joanna's got it, Maksud's got it, Argel's got it, Wham's got it, Nandini's got it, Suresh has got it, Uttaya's got it, Sham's got it, Brenda's got it, Yashpal's got it, Sunny's got it, Lakshmi's got it, Uma's got it. Ooh, Tapan hasn't got it. You'll have to do the other one. Jackson has said not really. If it's not really, then it's no, okay? It will be very clear. Cool, good. So we can eliminate this one. It's this statement here is not reflected here in the text. Let's check the second one. And you can see the keyword play is here. We found a keyword and then we look to the text, we find that keyword, and that's where you should read. It says, language can be effectively learnt through play. Yes or no? Yes or no? In other words, are they saying the same thing? Are they saying the same thing? Are they saying the same thing? Cool. Most people have got it. Most people have got it. Let's have a look. Language can be effectively learnt through play, which means you can learn a language by playing. Here it says, effectiveness is contingent on the motivations and characteristics of the learners, nothing to do with play, as well as the nature of the human and material resources which can be brought into play, which is a different phrase. These two have nothing in common. They do not say the same thing. Therefore, we can eliminate it, okay? Let's look at this third one. There is no single best method for learning, okay? Please read this part of the text here and see if these two say the same thing, but in different words. Yes or no? Cool. All right. Well done. Well done. Well done. Fantastic. Fantastic. Oh, almost perfect. Cool. Well, let's read it. There is no single best method for learning. This says the approach to the methodology of learning and teaching has to be comprehensive, presenting all options. They basically say the same thing, but in different words. Therefore, this one is now a possibility. And it's a very, very good possibility. In fact, I would almost just, this is single answer, remember, I would almost just click that. I would check the last one very quickly. Let's do that. Teachers should regularly change their methods. There's nothing in here that says teachers should regularly change their methods. Therefore, the answer to this one is C. There is no single best method for learning. We have identified that this, let me get out my, let me draw on the screen here. Let me draw on the screen. Let me find something cool to draw with. Here we go. Okay, this here, it says the same thing here, but just in different words. They're saying the same thing. Therefore, the answer is C. Cool. And that's the method once again. Let me just move this down here. Cool. All right. So we did 2 together. That's excellent. It will really be up to you to practice that method and to start getting it faster and faster. Of course, there's more to this. There's much more to this, but that's important, that method. Now, Multiple choice, choose multiple answers. The same method applies to multiple choice, choose single answer, and multiple choice, choose multiple answers, okay? You're doing exactly the same thing. You speed read the text, you read the question prompt, you read the answer options, then you go back and forth and eliminate. That's the method. It's the same method for multiple answers, except with multiple answers, you know, the ones with the question marks, there will probably be a tick, okay? Because you might have 2 or 3, maybe 4, probably not, but you're still eliminating the ones that are impossible by finding the key words in the answer option. You find the keywords in the answer option, find the adjoining keyword in the text, read it. Do they say the same thing? If yes, you tick it. If no, you eliminate it. I'm sorry I'm not answering questions, but I'm rushing through. Actually, here might be a good time to go to some questions. Let's have a look. Please retype your question into the Q&A now. And any questions that I've already answered, like Ganesha's one, you'll have to watch this again if you're a paid member. Okay, anonymous viewer says, if we can't find the keyword in the text, what should we do? Anonymous viewer, you should look for synonyms. Maybe they won't be exactly the same, okay? But you should look for synonyms. Usually you will find motivation and motivation, or play and play. But if you can't, you might find a word that has a similar meaning. All right, Silvash says, can we do these 4-step method in 2 minutes? The answer is yes, but it depends on how good your English is, of course. Okay, what have we got? Sorry, this okay, I'm just having a look at some questions. Tapan says, how long is the text in the test? I think it's about 200 words, 250 words. It's not that long, but it is very complicated. Abhishek says, are the answers in the order of the questions? I see what you mean. So you've got 4 answer options here, and this one might be motivation, this one's brain science, blah, blah, blah. Is it the same in the text? The answer is no. You might have this first option, you might find the keyword at the bottom. The second one, you might find the keyword at the top, etc. Okay, Venkata says, how many answer options will be correct in the multiple answer ones? It will either be 2, 3, or 4. Okay. Okay. Whoa. Okay. Uthaya's got it. Is there any relation between number of options and number of answers? Like 5. Oh, I say, Uthaya, I don't know the answer to that. Uthaya has asked in multiple choice, choose multiple answers. If there are 5 or 6, if there are more answer options, does that mean there will be more correct answers? The answer is probably yes, but I won't don't hold me to that. Cool. Okay, Mukesh says that, yes, Mukesh, you've got a good point. In multiple choice, choose multiple answers. When I did my PTE, I had 4 of these questions. 4 of these questions came, okay? And in each of those 4, I only had to choose 2 each time. I did not have to choose 3 in any of them. I'm not saying that yours will be the same, but you don't need to choose 3. You may just have to choose 2, okay? Okay, let's read some more questions. Okay, Bhargav says, are you sure that if we don't choose all the answers, it won't deduct in? Bhargav, you'll have to watch this again. I explained that at the start. Okay, Ashwin says, what to do if there are difficult words in the answer options to understand? Okay, this brings me to my next slide. The key to multiple choice. In fact, this is the key to language, really. The key to reading multiple choice. Vocabulary and grammar are key. They're critical, okay? If you don't understand the words, you don't understand the words. There's nothing you can do. You can't bring a dictionary to the PTE. You can't call your friend. There are no robots to ask, blah, 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 blah. It needs to be in your head, okay? This is why it's a test of your English. Here is a big list of words. If you don't have this list, you can email hello@e2language.com and one of our team members will send you this list. This is a list of collocations. This is important. You need to build your vocabulary. You also need to improve your grammar. If you haven't seen these videos on e2language.com, we have more than 200 covering all parts of grammar. This is even for free users. You may use this. I hope it is improving the world's grammar in English. That would be a good thing. Here's a little tip to build your vocabulary. www.sciencedaily.com is a really cool resource to use to build your reading skills, okay? And you should use it in conjunction with our app called E2 Pronounce. E2 Pronounce is a dictionary where you can see the word, you can hear the word, you can say the word, okay? So you can learn new vocabulary by using all of your senses. And this sciencedaily.com is a very similar academic level to the PTE. Okay, the articles on here are the kind of stories or kind of texts that you'll see in the PTE. Okay, so these two together, that's a real little key for you, especially for free users who can't access e2language.com's full content. Does this approach really work, or this method really work? Well, yes. Here are my scores: 90, 90, 90, 90. Here are my colleagues Kaya's scores: 90, 90, 90, 90. She, in fact, beat me. She's got a higher spelling score. How to prepare. Skill building. The method I showed you is a process for, it's a methodology for answering the question. It's step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Of course, without vocabulary and without grammar, it's completely useless, okay? You need to build your vocabulary, you need to improve your grammar, you need to, well, not for reading, but in the speaking, you need to improve your pronunciation. They are the 3 building blocks, okay? Vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation. Those 3 essentially are what language is. You also need test strategy, and that's what this webinar is for. Test strategy is understanding the task, having a method to complete that task, okay? So you build your skills, you learn the test strategy, then you do some test practice, and you need good practice materials like the stuff that we have on e2language.com. Then you may, and this could be very helpful for you, you may take an expert tutorial where someone like me will work with you and we'll look at the questions together and we'll show you the methods, we'll give you feedback. This is especially effective for writing and speaking. Okay, so if you're a free user, I strongly recommend that you upgrade your account because you will get everything that I've been talking about tonight. You will get access to these webinars. We now have 12 webinars covering the most difficult tasks of the PTE, including read aloud, including summarized spoken text, including retell lecture, etc. You'll get one-on-one tutorials where the teacher will meet with you. You'll get a study plan consultation where the teacher writes you a study plan. You'll get the word list, the vocabulary activities, the E2 Pronounce. You'll also get all the material on the website, etc., etc., etc. Let's go to final questions. I can't spend too long. Khalif says, if you answer the question, does the time carry over to the next questions? Yes. So the quicker that you move through reading, the more time you'll have for the other tasks. Adeji says, please upload this webinar to YouTube. I'm afraid this webinar will go to e2language.com. If you're a paid user, you can certainly watch it again. Okay. Jisan says, if I read fast, I can't understand properly, then what is the solution? Well, that's the skill building stuff. I mean, if you're a fast reader, it means that you understand vocabulary instantly, immediately. You need to get to the point where you immediately understand words, that you immediately recognize words, and the meaning of that word immediately appears in your mind. If you're looking at things and you're not quite sure and you're thinking, that's time wasted, okay? So again, it comes back down to vocabulary and grammar. Okay, Khalif, you'll have to watch this webinar again. Jackson says, if there's a keyword in the answer options like play, is it going to correspond to the body of the text by showing up only once? It may show up twice. In the example that I gave you, there was only one example there, one repetition. Okay, good question. Okay, Shoab, I just answered that before. Okay, Sonal says, do we need to memorize that big list of words? No. Here's the steps for vocabulary building, okay? First of all, start with that big list and just familiarize yourself with word pairs. Become familiar with word pairs. Then go to, well, you can go to e2language.com and read and do practice, or you can go to sciencedaily.com and you should, what you should do is read those articles. You find a word that you don't know, you look it up on E2 Pronounce, you translate it into your language, you listen to the native speaker say it, you practice pronouncing it, because hearing it, seeing it, and saying it will build it into your mind. That's how you build your vocabulary. Then when you're in the exam, you can actually go, yes, I know that word, yes, I know that word. Okay. Abhishek, no, you can go home, you're in the office, that's fine. Okay. Nandini, you can check the prices on e2language.com. Alungo's got a question about listening multiple choice. I'll get to that in a different webinar. Okay, Gaurav says, how many practice tests are there on e2language.com? Currently, we have one. We're just about to launch all new material. That will be up in the next probably week or 10 days, okay? In the meantime, paid users, I've sent you all an email today with a link to new practice material. Cool, yes, I'll do a webinar on multiple choice listening. Gaurav, if you're a paid member, you should have received an email with some more practice material today. Herman, if you're interested in upgrading your account, you should send an email to hello@e2language.com or check the website. Cool. I've got to keep this webinar below 50 minutes. So I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question. If you want to email through your questions, you can email it to hello@e2language.com. I hope you've enjoyed this webinar. I quite like doing them, very fun. Vinay, e2pronounce.com is for paid users. Yes, there'll be many more webinars coming up in the future. Just be patient unless you have a test coming up. If you have a test coming up, you need to contact us. Sham, I have your emails. I will get back to you. I'm just very busy at the moment, maybe tomorrow. Cool. All right. Thanks very much for watching. I will now stop this recording.